place to be. Yeah,
David, I used to call him Spike, but they call him Pops Clements.
That's what we should fucking do, really. Welcome to another episode of Talkin Tone. I'll be your host, Dave Pops Clements. With me tonight is a longtime friend. We actually worked together 30 years ago.
30.
I can't even believe we're still alive.
Can't even believe we know each other.
Audio engineer extraordinaire and voiceover king now. Mr. Geno Salerno.
Hola.
My brother.
What's up, brother?
So here we are.
What the fuck you doing, man? It's good to see you.
And it's been 30 years.
It has.
30 years. So, you know, like
a little Ryder truck with the governor card pulled out, and that bad boy would do about 98 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.
You know, it was in the days, and, you know, we were talking about this, and we don't sound, I mean, it sound like old codgers on all my shows. It's all these old guys,
glasses.
Right? Yeah, glasses, everything, losing hair, the whole 9 yards. But, you know what, I don't really care, you know, because I've got some shit to show for it, and you know, you and I are a prime example. We come from the old school, and, you know, we had to drive the truck and go to the gig, do the load in, load out, and drive the truck to another show.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what roadies were. You know, now everybody's a tech, and there used to be a gentleman named...
They've gone to school for this.
There used to be a real roadie named Davey Bryson, and the first time I told him I was a guitar tech, and he said, "Hey, you're a fucking roadie. You're not a guitar. What's a guitar tech?" You know, and Davey, I don't know if you ever knew him, but he mixed Rod Stewart for many years.
Yes.
He was a Scottish gentleman that was one of the best at his game.
I don't know him, but I know him. Yeah,
he was an electro tech guy for many years. You know, along with Jimmy Douglas, you know, who's now passed as well. And, you know, Jimmy was a sound image guy many years ago. But it's so odd because, you know, you came to a hotel room not knowing me at all. And it ends up being that we're from the same city even, grew up in St. Louis, Missouri.
Which we found out like 28 or 29 years after we rode around in a truck together for a year, which is totally amazing.
You know, this whole business that comes around, and, you know, we've both done this for a number of years, and you find some guys you've kept in touch with for a lot of years, you know, and some of these tours I've done in the last 15 years, some of these guys I, you know, just never even saw again. A lot of guys you didn't even know on the tours, you know, they got to be so big, you know.
So, yeah.
And there was, you know, we were with U2 with Jay-Z a few years back, and a guy got on the charter plane, his bag tag was number 395. And I looked at him and I said, 395? Wow. They don't even have no clue who you are, or even if you're here or there. You could send anyone to get a paycheck. They wouldn't even know who you are.
395.
You know, but, you know, guys like us, and we stuck around, and the whole St. Louis thing became another whole thing with our buddy John Schmiemeier.
Yeah, Schmee.
You know, and Schmee and I went back.
Thank God he's still going.
You know,
God bless him.
Schmee and I mean, Schmee gave me my start. You know, there was a few of us St. Louis guys that go back. Jerry Harvey was
Jerry Harvey. And see,
you know?
the thing is, like, all these guys, as with you, were all guys I met after I'd left St. Louis.
Right.
Because when I was I left St. Louis, you know, 20 years old, moved down to Nashville. Mm-hmm. And I basically was not in the music scene or the music business at all, and fucked around with audio as a kid in high school with my jazz choir and this and that. Mm-hmm. But, you know, was dating a girl whose brother owned a little sound company in Nashville, and went down and got a job.
And there it is, and you were gone. You know, I was in St. Louis.
And then met all these guys later, you know?
I was there, and my high school buddies had a band, so I was mixing for them at 14 years old.
What band was that?
It was a band called Mist, and you probably never had heard of them. It was early 70s, probably 74, 75. And I think 1976, maybe even it was 77, I was working as a maintenance man at an apartment complex in St. Louis, and I was mowing a yard one day.
Where?
I don't remember. I have no clue. You could ask Schmee.
Like downtown?
Schmee would know because he lived there. Okay, so I'm mowing the yard. I'm a kid, and this guy comes up and taps me on the shoulder. Dave Clements, yeah, I'm John Schmiemeier, I work for Contemporary Productions. And I'm 17, and I'm going, oh my God, really?
Yeah, Contemporary.
He goes, I hear you work for bands. You know, I go, yeah, my buddy's got a band. We've been playing around in high school. You know, we've been getting paid for 3 or 4 years. He goes, I'm looking for a guy to help me out. You want to come down and work for me? So I went to work for Contemporary Productions. At 17, I'm doing, shows with the Grateful Dead and, Queen and Heart. I mean, I got the Fat Bottom Girls Tour stage pass, I mean, it was unbelievable. Really, I was like, wow, here we go.
Now, was Larry Sapp around?
He was.
Yeah?
Yep. He was definitely around. Ed Ripp was there.
Ed Ripp.
Steve Madison.
Rich Wakefield. Yeah?
Well, that was the sound guy, and I ended up working for Fred Barrera at Aries Audio. And we were actually before Wakefield. Wakefield came while we were already doing shows in town.
Okay.
I went to work for Freddie and built systems for him. I built monitor systems.
And St. Louis Music. And
yeah. Ed Bigger with Yield Music Shop.
I mean...
Bob Heil.
He was, I mean, people don't realize what a big well, yeah. I mean,
my brother, played with Ike and Tina Turner.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, he played with Buddy Holly. I mean, I was born into a music family, so I kind of came up.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we had music.
See, my mom and dad used to go see Ike and Tina down.
Phoenix Lounge, probably.
No, what was the name of that other place downtown?
I just saw it, Gaslight Square. They used
down
to play.
Down at Gaslight Square.
Yeah.
And when I was mixing monitors for Tina in 2000, my dad was already dead, but my mom came to the show, and one of the video guys held a sign up when she would introduce, video director, front of house, lighting, and me, monitor guy. And they'd shoot us on video, put us on the big screen. It was totally fucking cool, Tina fucking Turner. It's like, oh my God.
I know.
And one of the video guys held a sign up behind my head, said, "Hometown boy, mom is here." And Tina's like, what?
Oh,
she looks down, she's like, "Geno, I didn't know this. Your mom is here. Where's Geno's mama? Where's Geno's mama?" And this big black woman, African-American woman, jumps up and says, "I'm Geno's mom." And Tina looks down and said, "I don't think so, honey." And the fact of it is my mom had just left because it was getting late.
Oh.
And she had just left and she missed this. But I had other friends who had bought tickets that didn't even know I was on the show that I grew up with that were there. And so, I mean, my mailbox was lighting up the next day.
Man. For many years, you were with Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
For how many? 20 years?
19.
Almost 20.
Yeah, almost 20.
And that was a handful in itself.
That was great. She was awesome. It was definitely a case of I knew I was doing a good job.
And she was a guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and so...
Yeah. And always had great guitar players with her.
Right.
From Todd Wolfe, the first guitar player that was with her, to, nevertheless Clapton popping in now and again. Talk about tone.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the guy take the same guitar, same cable, same amp.
And sound totally different.
And sound...
It's a name.
But then, and Doyle Bramall.
Oh, yeah. Doyle was in her band.
Doyle was in her band in 2010, I think it was, for like 2 years.
Wow.
And then Peter Stroud, who was there and then left and then came back, who's, a shredding, full-on Southern rock,
and
but can play anything.
All two
guitar
bands.
player. Yeah, all.
Now,
65 amp.
Yeah.
That's his company. Yeah, awesome. But, and I've always loved, and when I knew my ears were going bad is when I couldn't stand guitars anymore. I never could stand cymbals, or snare drums for the most part.
There's some piercing tones there.
But, when guitars were getting to me, I knew my days were coming to an end. And, but like Billy Joe from Green Day, in my opinion, there's Clapton as far as my tone guys I've worked with goes, and I only worked with Clapton as the guy coming on stage with Cheryl, right? But just to witness what happened there. But Billy Joe with Green Day and his fucking guitar tone was just simply amazing. It was huge. It was fat. It was painless.
Just easy. It was there.
It was all-consuming.
Push the fader up.
Enveloping. But, it was, and it was simple. Guitar, cable,
right. Yeah,
amps.
well, Leonard Skinner.
We had,
we didn't even use wireless until Ricky and Huey came along.
On the other side, Steve Stevens, when I did the Atomic Playboys.
Right. Another,
Bradshaw rack.
And
tons of messing around, but amazing tone.
Bobby and
Great tone.
Bobby and I go back a long ways, and Lon Cohen, I worked with Lon, and I was lucky enough to come into what I called the North Hollywood gang.
Right.
It was Andy Brower's group of guys, and Dave Friedman, obviously, who's really on fire right now. Mm-hmm. So I worked with all them guys for a lot of years, and especially Bob. I was a Zappa guy.
Right.
So with Dweezil, I worked with Frank at the house before he passed, but I never toured with Frank.
Right.
So I have some good Frank stories from up at the house.
I could have.
Well, as you see,
at least gotten fired from that gig.
I got photos.
I would love to have at least tried it,
I got photos of Frank up. I actually got paychecks on the wall from the Zappas.
Nice.
I actually taught at the Zappa Institute of Technology. I was a teacher for a couple of classes. So, I have those up there because people don't believe it.
We rise to the top.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming over, and we'll do another one sometime.
Thanks for having me, yeah.
Maybe we can...
I'm here a few times a year.
A little more intricate, maybe next time. Maybe talk about some guitar rigs.
I'll think about it more next time. Maybe make some notes ahead of time.
A lot of guys that come by, they only have a little bit of time, and we wing it. This isn't scripted. We don't have notes.
No.
And
that's obvious.
I find it best because almost everyone I have on here are my friends. And so I know them, and it's easy for me to talk to them. It's not nervous. There's only been a few guys I've been a little shaky with that I didn't know that were pop stars.
Right.
But that worked out fine too. So we don't script anything, and it's all nonchalant, and we talk about it because we know it. We did it.
And the things said here are the opinions of the speakers only, not necessarily of the station, the internet, or...
There will be a disclaimer at the very end, but maybe you should sign us off with a good voiceover.
Like Gary Owens.
Whatever you want to do.
Tonight, that is it. This is Geno Salerno and...
Dave Pops Clements.
Signing off.
Good night.